Do you know what I like to do when I'm watching a Hawaii 5-0 marathon? I like to look at some baseball cards. Yeah, on Fridays they have the original Hawaii 5-0 marathon. When I was in college, my roommate and I, we would stay up all night watching these different shows. These old shows. One was Hawaii 5-0. That was the one we liked the most. One was Mannix. And there was another one on. Can't remember. They all came on after David Letterman. Or no, Arsenio Hall. It was the Arsenio Hall show, I think. And then those. Brings back some good memories. But, man, McGarrett, one of the coolest guys on TV ever. All right, guys, I have another rare card. I have another rare card and another cool card for a set that I've been working on. And, man, I have to break out the symbolic white glove for this one. So recently I showed you that I got the 1937 O-Pee-Chee Lefty Grove. And I got another one. I've been on a tear lately finding rare, great cards pretty cheaply. I have one coming. I have two coming tomorrow. One I've been looking for months. That specific card. The other one is from a set I've been looking for a baseball player for months. And it's the only one PSA has ever graded. And I couldn't believe how cheaply I got it. And it's a phenomenal card. The other one that I have coming is just an extra special card that I'll bet you haven't seen before. And a rookie card of my number one player. I'll leave you with that. But right now I have a card. The PSA Pop report on this is 34. They graded 34. Now listen, I know a lot of my viewers, I know a lot of you out there don't care for Pop reports. I don't either. I really don't either. It's just that when I was growing up and the way we used to buy cards, we didn't know how rare cards were. We had no idea how many of them were out there. We just knew that maybe we didn't see them a lot. You know, you take the 1954 Bowman Ted Williams, for example. You know, one time we thought that was a lot more rare than it actually is. And there are other cards like that. And other cards that are, you know, rare that maybe we didn't realize at the time. I had one at one time. Had no idea how rare it was. So the Pop reports at least give you some idea of how many are out there. Because, you know, in the modern world, if somebody has a Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, Rogers Hornsby, Hank Greenberg, I mean, most people are going to get those graded. And even if it's only 80% of the people get them graded or 70% of the people get them graded, the Pop report still gives you somewhat of an idea of how many are out there. We know that's not all of them, but it gives you a good idea. And so that said, this card is exceptional. I'm so happy to add it. And it's from that 37 O-Pee-Chee. And it's Rogers Hornsby. My lights are flickering. Must be the ghosts that played baseball up here. I'm so excited to get this. Rogers Hornsby, man, one of the greatest players of all time. I never think he gets even his due. You know, all my life I have regarded getting a Rogers Hornsby similarly to getting a Ty Cobb or a Babe Ruth or any of those players. Jimmy Fox, just one of the all-time greatest players, second highest batting average in history. What, he hit over 403 times? Highest... Well, I don't know. You know, he batted 424, and I always thought that was the highest single season mark. But now I see, you know, Nap Lajoie, another great player who I don't think gets his due. Nap Lajoie, I guess, had a higher single season batting average. Now, I don't know, you know. There's this theory that, you know, how the world was going to end in 2012. And there's this theory that it actually did, and we're all living in a sub-universe, and things that we remember from one time are no longer true. And so I don't know between Nap Lajoie and him, because I always thought he had the the highest single season batting average. Aside from Hugh Duffy, aside from the 1800s. But I guess Nap Lajoie does. So I don't know if I just learned wrong or what. But anyway, still a phenomenal batting average. And I got another 1927 W560. I just showed you one of these. I just showed a few recently. And, you know, these are the game cards. And this is Fred Marberry, better known as Firpo, one of the greatest names in baseball history. Now, if you don't know Firpo Marberry, he was really the first closer specialist. You know, oftentimes my man Elroy Face gets that distinction, but Firpo really was. And he was the first man in baseball to have 20 saves in a season and 300 saves in a career. And he led the league in saves more than any other pitcher 6 straight years. And that is dominant by any measure. 6 straight years. Leading in saves. And it's a cool card, cool set. You know, I'm working on this set a little at a time. And you can get these pretty cheap. So, aside from the few big cards, which I already have, I should be able to finish it off, although I'm discovering new cards constantly. I got to checklist this thing. I had no idea how many cards were in here. The only big one, I think the only big one I need yet is Rogers Hornsby. I think he's the only other big one in the set that I need, I think. So, anyway, that's what I have for you. Thanks for hanging out with me.